labor challenges and the food cost. So how are we tackling that? So labor, and we want to try to implement more of that speed scratch, which has a lot of that political momentum. How do we do that when we have labor that is challenged against the private industry? So they're getting pulled each way. So we're coming up with innovative solutions on the speed scratch level where we can take prepared items and combine that with raw items and bring those together where we can have a healthier meal for our students.
There's a newfound kind of political pressure of trying to improve the overall health and well-being of all Americans, and I think a lot of that starts with the how students start developing healthy eating habits at the school level and what they're exposed to, and a lot of the federal guidelines are constantly changing. Looking at reducing sodium, reducing sugar, adding more whole grains, and a lot of that is really changing how food service was produced from the 80s and 90s, where we had a lot more convenience items, place and bake, pre-manufactured items with a lot of preservatives and a lot of sodium and things like that. And now we're seeing a real return to the way that the school lunch was really intended, with a lot more care and healthier ingredients, way more farm to table. And I think that's, having the right equipment, the right design to be able to implement all of that successfully is, I think, was a pretty key takeaway from our presentation.
We're looking at getting away from some of these facilities that are designed just for more of warming or service only. So this is aligned to new agency requirements. So those are things we have to consider. When we have a warming kitchen, we transition to more of a speed scratch. We're implementing things of a prep sink, having an appropriate cold storage to help support that hazardous food. When I say hazardous food, it's like your yogurt products and such like that, to be able to properly store that. And now I want to try and transition towards like the service counter. Instead of service of prepackaged items where they may not have a breath guard, we may have more of a dish type menu. So it's really kind of elevating that service model.
Driving efficiency through equipment selection, multifunctional equipment, things that can be pre-programmed, so you have standardization with recipes, so you get that consistency that comes out. So every school that's serving the same entree is going to have the same quality standards, as well as food safety, because that's our kids are our most precious resource that we have. So we want to make sure that we're not spreading any sort of foodborne illness, and being mindful of food allergies that are also pretty prevalent in today's society.
Yeah, you brought up a really good point as far as that automation standpoint, is where we're able to simplify. So when we're dealing with labor that we're challenged, and if we're able to simplify that process. So I love where equipment technologies has us today, where we have more of a reliable input, where we can put our recipes on a USB stick or through a Cat5, Cat6. We can connect that through data. We can share that recipe, and they're just pressing the button on that combi oven, and it's going to be consistent throughout the whole school district, and we have a great recipe all the students can share.